Good morning, nerds, and today is part 2 of the Subnautica trilogy. It's not a trilogy, there's got to be 3 of them. Duality? Anyway, the double feature, there we go, Subnautica. And yesterday we talked how people are making a mountain out of a molehill, and that is not the place we should be really focusing our energy on. And, when people call us grifters, it's because of stupid things like that, right? Where they shouldn't be doing that sort of thing. That we should not be wasting our time talking about how the pacifistic game is doubling down on pacifism in its second incarnation. I mean, I don't know how much more regarded one can be to think that is the hill we need to die on, but it simply is not. Anyway, I've already said the unpopular opinion, so let's get into something that actually matters a little bit. And that's the EULA. So grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into it, shall we? But hey, before we get started, I stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So hit that notification bell, hit the follow button, the subscribe button, all that good stuff. So if you want to come join us, chill out while we're just playing a video game Monday and Wednesday, go ahead and do so. And if you want to join the conversation on Friday when we talk about news like this, well, you got to do the same thing there too, and you can come join us then. I'll see you then. Oh boy, is this thing long. Or at least all the good relevant parts are long. So it's not going to fit all on stream. I'm not going to try. I'm going to try. But I can't guarantee I can fit it all on stream. It's going to have to be in pieces or something. But yeah, there's at least 2 other things we can talk about when it comes to this game, and it's the fact that it is launched in early access as an MVP, or minimum viable product, and the EULA. I think those are the 2 strongest arguments to make against Subnautica 2. If you really want to hate on something, you should really be hating on Krafton, not the actual developers of Subnautica. I mean, they are who they are. They made a banger of a game once. They're making a banger of a game again. Guarantee it. The people who loved Subnautica 1 are going to absolutely love Subnautica 2. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm sorry. You may not want to hear it, but that's the facts. That's the truth. But when it comes to Krafton, on the other hand, what I wanted to find was the original floor plan. I guess floor plan, the original plan that they were originally going with. Can't think of what those things are called right now. Anyway, you can just let me know in the comments down below what they're called. Roadmaps, there we go. I knew I'd figure it out eventually, but yeah, the original roadmap, right? And you can see where they were in their lawsuit, which is where this stuff came out of. You can see where the developers of Subnautica were on their way to doing their end of 2025 release, hitting their mark, hitting their goals, every one of them, by leaps and bounds, and releasing in a good space. But you can also see where Krafton constantly messed with it, where they would be like, no, you need to remove this stuff, you got to remove this stuff, no wait, you know what, I think we should add these in now, no, we need to go ahead and remove those, no, let's add those too, no, maybe we should remove those and we can add this over here. Anyway, so I got interrupted by the dogs barking because people coming in and stuff, and I had to take care of that. I'm not sure where I was, but the idea is Krafton is a horrible place. Right, so they're trying to screw out all the developers off the bonuses, right? They fired when all else fails, they fired the people that were at the top, right? Citing that their reason for firing them were all things that they had gotten Krafton to say, yeah, we're going to be doing this thing, and we're all going to be here. Like, one of us is going to be at the top, the rest of us are going to do our own thing. And then, we're going to be here in like sort of a consultant capacity for the most part. And then Krafton used that against them to say that they fired them because of that, right? And I do apologize for any squeaking that the dog is now making. But yeah. So Krafton has been pretty much trying to botch this launch since start. So the fact that they've launched at all, I'm actually kind of surprised, to be totally honest. But no, we can sit there and we can knock them for being an MVP, for launching that MVP state in early access. We can absolutely blame Krafton for that entire thing. But no, we're talking about the EULA right now, right? This thing is long. Oh my gosh. So let's take a look at this. You get a license. You don't buy the game, of course. So yeah, just so you're aware, that $29.99 that you spent for Subnautica 2, you don't own it. They reserve the right to, of course, revoke any access to it whenever they see fit, and whenever you say something they don't like, I guess. Anyway, you aren't allowed to publish recordings, screenshot, etc., or stream the game without a disclaimer, and it is not supported by Crafton Inc. Or, I'm sorry, that it is not supported by Crafton Inc. Yeah, we know. I still can't read, guys. Bear with me. And that the footage in subject to the EULA, however, that is meant to work. However, that is, somebody's included their notes with this, right? So I'm apparently going to be reading that as well. But yeah, so apparently you're not allowed to publish any records, screenshots, or anything without a public disclaimer saying it's not supported by Crafton. So I guess this video, disclaimer, Crafton doesn't support me dogging their EULA. Who would have fucking thought? Anyway. Cannot upload such content to paid platforms, which is presumably such as Patreon or YouTube member-only videos, because, yeah, okay, sure, why not? I'm not sure how that's going to function, but good on them, I guess. Crafton can, of course, take away your access to the game at any point for any reason without prior notice. The terms of the agreement can change at any point for any reason without any notice by Crafton, and you, of course, must regularly check the terms to make sure. God, I hate these things. Anyway, so these are apparently supposed to also be boilerplate, right? Like, people were defending this saying, oh, this is with all games and stuff. You know, that's fine. I don't read all games, but this is also the main reason why things like Stop Killing Games is such an important thing. That movement is an important thing for these kind of things specifically. Anyway, they reserve the right to remote access the game. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, but sure, they get a Trojan horse into your system whenever they want, I assume. It is not allowed to use the game for commercial gains. Okay, so I guess no streaming. For all those who are streaming the game, I'm sorry, you've done broke the EULA. You cannot play the game on more than one device without purchasing additional licenses. Okay, so earlier, I think it was in this week, pirates were pirating the game, right? And then they were going into the Discord flaunting that they pirated the game. Now, I thought that was in bad taste, and I didn't get a chance to actually talk about it, and I wanted to talk about it like maybe Friday or something. But you reading this EULA, if they read the EULA and then started doing that, I can understand why they were out there flaunting it in their face, going into their Discord saying, look at my new copy of, Subnautica 2 that I just pirated. I can understand it now. I have no sympathy on that level anymore. Anyway, you cannot modify the game illegally, and if you do, Crafton owns that modification. So, yeah, if you mod the game, Crafton owns your mod, because, F you, that's why. A bunch of weird clauses that just prohibit behavior outside of the game, including tarnishing Crafton's reputation. Listen, Crafton, go F yourself. Go F yourself with the biggest whatever you can find. No offense, but all I've heard are bad things about Crafton, except for apparently one thing, because it had something to do with like maternity leave or something, and they're apparently paying all their employees all this money. But, they want to do everything they can to pretty much stifle Subnautica 2. Okay, yeah, right, yeah, F Crafton. Anyway, deceive or exploit Crafton. This definition of which is determined by, you guessed it, Crafton. What? Okay, you are not allowed to exploit bugs. This goes back onto my video when we talked about balancing, for the sake of balancing. It also goes the same thing with bugs. If it's not a game-breaking bug or something, I think it should stay in. Do we really need to waste the time fixing that whatever glitch that duplicates things on a single-player game for the most part? And I get it. The second game has a multiplayer component you can use or whatnot, but it's primarily still a single-player game. You are not allowed to use external programs such as macros or cheat engine. Okay, again, go F yourself. People are going to do that all... I mean, people done broke your game and pirated, for fuck's sake. Oh, let's see. You are not allowed to use or to have nicknames or nicknames that cause negative associations. Good luck with that one, guys. Seriously, good luck with that. You are not allowed to use someone else's account to access the game. Like, how are you going to know? Like, seriously, right now, the only way that my kid can play this game is if I download it on my Steam account, who I will then let play the game, right? Now, the reason I don't, for the most part, is I heard there was some kind of memory leak issue for starters, so, you know, I'd rather not deal with that. But on top of all that, if I do, I'm never going to see my computer again for like the next 2 weeks, because that's all he's going to do. He's going to commandeer it and he's going to play it. Yeah, I'm sorry, but my kid also used my PlayStation to play the first one, guys. So you're going to come at us? You're going to revoke something now? You're going to try it? Come on, Crafton. Let's play. You are not allowed to use a VPN or any technology that masks your location. You are not allowed to spam content from the game. Like, this is actually what it says. You cannot publish content from the game in a manner that counts as spamming. What the... Yeah, I had to read that note there. Okay. You are not allowed to take actions that go against social norms. Here's the note. I'm not kidding. This is actually in there. You are not allowed to create any content that is based on the IP, presumably such as fan art, etc. And if you do, they own it. That's right. If you make fan art of Subnautica 2, Crafton owns your art. So, because I have already made an AI rendition of art for that, they own that, which also means Subnautica 2 has definitely confirmed used AI at this point, because they own my AI art. That's an interesting thing for all you people who hate AI. There you go. Any player created from the game content belongs to them as well. They do not guarantee a smooth gameplay experience. Well, I mean, it's early access. It's essentially you're paying for a demo and a beta right now, so I get that. A bunch of clauses that cannot be held accountable if you suffer any damages, but even if they could, they would pay a maximum of $50 US. Okay. Not sure if the EULA counts as a documentation for the game, but if so, then using the documentation of the game means you've given up the right to sue Crafton or their employees for anything. Hey, by the way, Crafton, I do not give up that right. I'm sorry. You can go F yourself again. You know, take the Nintendo plunge. Go ahead. So presumably by reading the EULA, using the documentation, you've already given up your right to sue them. No. See, this is why Stop Killing Games is very important, guys. You have no right to a refund under any circumstances unless forced to by law or enforced by the platform the game was sold on. If you break the TOS outlined in the EULA, you'll give up the right to a refund. You can delete your account if your information is not accurate. So they can just straight up delete your account if they decide your info isn't accurate. Like, how does that work? Like, you know, if I get this through Steam, it's not got my real name on there. Does that count as inaccurate information? Are they just going to delete my character, delete my account? Anyway, most of these terms continue to apply after termination of the contract. If you have any issue with the EULA, you don't have to inform them, you have to inform them in writing first. Okay, so let's all have issues with the EULA. And you know what would be really funny is if we could get everybody to just write a letter and snail mail them in writing our issues with their EULA. Like, can somebody get something together that we could just easily print off and then throw it in the mail and send it off? Like, that would be fantastic. If that doesn't work, you have to fight them on terms set by them in San Ramon, California, under U.S. law in English. You give up the right to have a judge or jury over the case. I don't even know how that would work, but it's called arbitration. That's what that is. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that's called arbitration. Is there a judge in arbitration? I don't quite remember. It's like two lawyers talk it out, I guess. They can make demands of you without having to show any damages they have suffered. F you, Crafton. If you think they stole art or other copyrighted material from you, then in order to get it removed, you must give them a bunch of personal information, including your real identity and signature. So yeah, remember, when they say they own your art, they freaking mean it. Because if you want it back, they want to take you to the cleaners for it. Anyway, so that's probably the most egregious parts of this. Okay, and I thought we really needed to read it real quick and in a hurry, go over it for a second, because this is freaking ridiculous. And if that's boilerplate, we really need to be paying more attention to the EULAs. But apparently, Subnautica 2 developers Unknown Worlds has responded to the community backlash over the game's EULA following its early access launch. The studio confirmed it will never take actions against streamers or content creators and will not enforce clauses restricting gameplay recordings or monetization. Community representative Sam Dark addressed modding concerns. We will not take actions against player-made mods as long as they follow the very simple rules Donya shared a while back, like not selling the mods. Many of us in the modding Discord. The studio was founded by modders, and some of our playtesters are modders. The team is reviewing other player feedback on the EULA, which includes a license-only ownership model, $50 maximum cap on damages, VPN restrictions. This comes as Unknown Worlds has assured self-publishing responsibilities after legal dispute from former publisher Crafton. Now, that is an interesting thing there, because this is like Crafton's thing, right? Now, they did get the publish. Judge did come in, reinstated the guys at the top. They were able to publish, just recently, of course. Crafton's involvement, on the other hand, it's a little bit up in the air, because we're not 100% sure where they lie on the things, because apparently Crafton's, information was stripped from the Steam page and stuff as well. But if Crafton can still come through and try to enforce this EULA, that's a problem. It doesn't matter what the developers say with Unknown Worlds, if Crafton still has the ability to try and enforce this kind of stuff, because that's going to be a whole other legal issue altogether. Anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya.